Randy with extra Y308 has to go to his lawyer and say, I lost $40,000 because they read my tweet out loud.
So welcome back to another Crumbs for Giants. I am here with somebody you guys haven't seen yet. This is Mick Torbay. He's another Wizard Vet partner of ours, and he is got a really awesome nickname, and that is Tough Love Torbay.
Like all good nicknames, it was assigned to me. It wasn't something that I chose on my own. I would have chosen one much better than that.
You probably would have chosen one much better than that. But Mick is kind of, well, Mick's a writer. He's an extraordinary writer, powerful wordsmith, and the master of emotion in writing. But the real thing that Mick has gotten to a science is what it is to understand how to meet somebody where they're at and then give them those details in a very kind and loving way, which is why we call him Tough Love Torbay. You know what?
Are you sure?
It's always,
I mean, I'm going to accept it, but I mean,
it's always kind and loving, but you always mean it with kind and love and lovingness.
What I say to my family is I only yell at the people I love. So if I'm yelling at you, it must mean that I truly, truly care for you.
See, there you go. That's what it is. So anyway, so he has very strong opinions on a couple of things that we all have very strong opinions on within the Wizard of Bag group. But one of those things that I want to talk to you guys about today is the legal department. Actually, Mick, I'm going to let you just run with this because this is something you actually care about.
Well, I mean, I suggested this topic because something came up literally this week with a client of mine, and we wanted to. I wrote a particular ad, and in this case, it wasn't even the client that wanted to run it past the legal department. It was the production company.
Oh,
and so they started saying, hey, you know, we ran this by legal, and we think we just need to change it a little bit. And I was like, I'm sorry. Do you think I came to you asking for help with my scripts? Because I don't remember doing that.
yeah.
Last I checked, I write the scripts. You hold the camera in the right position and make the lights make everything look pretty. And the rest of us worried about that. But the fundamental problem that I had with this particular thing is that as soon as you say, well, we're going to run this by legal, it's like, well, let me just stop you right there. What they're going to say is no. The legal department will always try and protect you. They're coming from a good position. They're not bad people.
Right.
But they are trying to protect you from any possible exposure. And the safest thing to do in any situation when you're doing something that might rattle someone's cage is to say, well, just don't do that. The problem, of course, is that means that the legal department will drag you towards the median. They'll drag you towards the middle. They'll take your commercials, your marketing, your anything, frankly. It's not just marketing. And they will try to make it as bland and innocuous as possible because that is the way to avoid them going to court. And that's all they're trying to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
But the point is that's the exact antithesis of what marketing is supposed to do. Marketing is supposed to disrupt. It's supposed to bother people. It's supposed to shake them up. They're supposed to say, whoa, did I just hear what I thought I just heard? Yes, you did. And now you're going to remember it because it was weird. So, you know, there's this constant push and pull of people who want to save you from ruin, but saving you from ruin means, but for goodness sake, don't do anything that might be noticed by anyone.
Okay, so we're talking legal department here, and you know, you started off with it wasn't actually the legal department. This was the production house. Sometimes it's your aunt, Millie, when you told her this idea of this really cool thing. I'm gonna put in the comments, guys. I'm gonna put a link to a video that Mick did called "The Leader versus the Community," and this is what we're talking about. Really,
well, because
in a nutshell,
the legal department is just another member of the committee.
that's exactly what it is. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've gone through this a couple of times. You and I were writing for a campaign for a roofing company, and the name of that company was the same name as the local football team. And there was things that the legal department was really afraid. Actually, the production house, it was the same idea. The production house was really afraid of us using certain lines And we had already thought through all that and found our way that we were going to make that work. And it's always the trying to save you from yourself, because for some reason people don't think that you're smart enough to do some of the math in your head. So if the committee, so if the legal department typically just says no, it's kind of like asking for money from the accountant, right? Like this is just no, we can't afford to do stuff like
Let's
that.
just start with no and then see how persuasive you are to change my mind. Yes,
Exactly.
it's exactly the same way with the legal department.
So then, how do we then help business owners and marketers alike avoid having to have, or not even avoid having the conversation, but how do we help them have the conversation with legal, with accounting, with the committee, so that it helps them to get to that edgy, disruptive place? How do we do that?
Well, I think what we need to do is we need to say to our legal department, don't forget you work for me. And what I mean by that is the legal department is used to being asked, can we do this? The legal department saying no, or here's a way that you can do it that will be safer, and everybody just following them along. And what we need to do with our legal department is we have to, rather than just take that first blush, that first glance, that first take from them, we have to say, before we give up on a good idea, because if you simply listen to them at first glance, you're going to give up on every good idea that you're ever going to have. So rather than do that, say to your legal department, okay, let's assume we're going to do this anyway. What is my exposure? How bad is it going to be? And I'll go back to the example that I gave earlier, because what it was that I was presenting to my client was a very, actually not even that controversial in my opinion, an idea of doing a commercial about mean tweets. So these are people that have tweeted mean things about my client and their commercials.
Yep.
And I wanted to use the actual screen name of the people who did the mean tweets. And the reason why I wanted to use the actual screen name is because it's real. If we just say, oh, someone on Twitter said this, that's not real, and therefore it could have been, the mean tweet could have been written by the writer's room, right? Rather
exactly.
than an actual person. So you don't take it as seriously. It's not that mean if I wrote it. Whereas this is something that was actually written by somebody else.
Yeah, it loses authenticity if you take out the name.
Yeah, Roy would call this a reality hook, because you can look it up. You can absolutely go to Reddit and say, Randy with an extra Y 308 said this nasty thing about my client. And so I wanted to, and I also think screen names are funny when spoken, because no one ever says them out loud.
Hey, Randy 308.
How are Randy with an extra Y 308. Thank you very much for your tweet. Oh, and here's a response to that from nobody, no one ever 69, who says such and such, right? And you could look it up, and they really are there. And the only thing we changed is we took out the curse words. But the legal people said, well, let's just take out the screen names, because then nobody can say, oh, you violated my privacy. Well, I don't think you have any privacy when you put your stuff up on the internet. But people could see my screen name and they know who they are. Well, then why do you have a screen name that identifies who you are, and then put things up on the internet and then tell me you don't want people to know that? It's a public forum.
Yeah,
if anybody can go to Reddit or Twitter or X or whatever it is and just see it, I'd say you don't really have any privacy. That's number one.
Yes.
Number two, for you to sue somebody, you have to be able to say that this thing that the other person did hurt you, and you have to put a number on it. So if I essentially read the tweet that Randy with an extra Y 308 said on Reddit, Randy with an extra Y 308 has to go to his lawyer and say, I lost $40,000 because they read my tweet.
They pointed out the thing that I did.
So they pointed out the thing that I put on a public forum and broadcast to literally the world.
Yeah, exactly.
So take this a bit far. Like, don't just say no. Tell me why or why not, and what is the realistic problem? Now, one of the things your legal department is going to remind you is that anybody can sue anyone for anything. I can sue Matthew for having glasses I don't like, but that doesn't mean he's going to win any money.
No, you're just
So,
waste some
you know,
time.
but might they have to go to court and say this is ridiculous? I suppose it's possible, but what is the likelihood? Like, let's start talking statistics. How much money are they likely to win from us repeating something that you said?
Exactly.
So,
Well, here's the thing too, and specifically for this example, Mick, there are people, there are much bigger entities like, well, Jimmy Kimmel, who just got taken off the air. But any of the talk show hosts, they've all played this game. They've all lived in this world, and the legal departments of much bigger companies have said, yeah, you know what, it's okay, just go do it.
well, and if you're going to sue somebody, do you want to sue a heating and air conditioning company in Southwest Texas, or do you want to sue the National Broadcasting Corporation? Like, who do you think is going to have the most money to spend? And by
Well,
the way,
exactly.
mean tweets, which I didn't invent. I mean, I think that was Kimmel who did that.
I actually think it was, yeah.
Yeah, he put the screen names up. Why?
Yes.
Because the screen names are funny and it proves that it's real. So the legal department doesn't think they're doing much when they say, just take out the screen names. And then you're fine. And what they're not used to hearing is, yes, but your meddling has made my commercial less funny. It's made it less interesting. It's made it less worth watching. You've made it just a little bit worse.
Well, less
And that's not
impactful.
acceptable.
Well, it's not acceptable, and what I don't like about it is it's less impactful. It's actually not going to do the job that it's meant to do. It's actually
That's exactly it.
it's going to go counter to what it was meant to do, which was to show that this is really happening in the world, and we're just responding to it. It's going to make it seem like this is made up, and that we're just trying to block against something that could be nefarious, but and mystical and mysterious. When no, this is all out there. You can go find it. Go find it for yourself if you want to. And most people, here's the best part: most people aren't even going to spend the time because it's not worth their time to go and investigate it. They're going to do nothing
They're
with that
probably
information.
not going to see it. I mean, what's the likelihood that Randy with an extra Y 308 is going to actually be watching TV, see it? Frankly, if he does see it, he's probably going to call his neighbors and tell them to watch TV because he's on the air.
Exactly.
I mean, the likelihood of him saying, I lost my job because Randy with an extra Y 308 said something nasty about this air conditioning company. I don't think his boss is going to fire him. I don't think he's losing any money. I don't think anything bad is going to happen. Let's just leave the commercial as is. And don't forget, I'm the guy who wrote a commercial that put a person's first and last name in it. Someone who wrote an email saying something really, really horrible.
Yeah.
And I made a commercial with his first name referencing his email. So
Yeah, listen. Okay, so Mick, thank you. I appreciate that. This is exactly what we're talking about, guys. Don't dumb down your marketing. I think that's the way that the real true lesson here is don't dumb down the marketing. There's going to
don't
be
let the committee, by the death of 1,000 cuts, just slightly make your ad not as good.
Exactly. Okay, well, listen, I appreciate you. Again, I'm going to be putting down into the comments, guys, the link to go watch Mick's rant on the committee versus the leader versus
And
the
I'll yell
committee.
at you there too.
And he's probably going to say a couple things. Something he says in there that he didn't say here, but I love the way he says it, is real matters. Guys, real matters in marketing and advertising. So remember that. And finally, I always shout out the Wizard Academy when we're doing our podcast here.
Come take a course.
You got to
It'll make you smart.
You got to take a course. And because we all did, and look what we do now. You want to be like me and Mick.
And we don't make money from you going there.
We do not make fun. No, they are on an official sponsor. Actually, I talked to Daniel Whittington, and he's going to he's going to be on the show at some point too, which is going to be a lot of fun. Okay. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. Would you do another one with me sometime?
I would be delighted to do another one of these. I'll even wear the same shirt.
Well, there you go. I appreciate you for that. All right, guys. Thank you. We'll see you guys on the next episode.